To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Well, hello everybody and welcome to the Kingdom Report. I'm Wade Heath coming to you from the Warner Brothers Studios Media District here in beautiful Burbank, California, and the UBN Go Studios. It is a great pleasure to have you with us once again as we talk a little bit of magic and connect you to more of what makes you happy. Not just me, as usual, got a great team with us here today, including... well, Katrina Manzoni from AttractionFaction.net.
Hi.
Hello. Also from AttractionFaction.net, Mr. Tyler Crouch.
Hey, everybody. Good to see you all.
And our dear friend Curt is on vacation this week, so a no-name, nobody apparently is running things behind the scenes that, I mean, we've never seen before. We don't know who he is, but Tony Sweet running up the rear of the studio. Oh, my. Well, thank you, sir, for being here today. But... to jump right into things, why don't we go, well, to Gared on the go, perhaps, as we head on over to Walt Disney World. Let's Gared on the go time. Hey, Gared, where are you today, sir? What's going on?
Good afternoon, guys. I am here at Walt Disney World, unfortunately at, if you look up behind me, that's Disney's Hollywood Studios, and it is a beautiful day. It's only 75 degrees, which you might consider winter in Florida.
Only 75. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
I see that new logo behind you. It sounds like Hollywood Studios going through the rebrand rebirth. It looks like that recently got put up. What's going on back there?
Yeah. So before it had sort of had the cartoonish logo that that Studios was known for, Hollywood Studios. And I believe that what they've gone for is a more contemporary, modern design. So it looks a lot more sleek. It looks like something you actually might see in Hollywood Studios out in California. So I like it. I think it looks pretty good. The colors are very complementary. They're not overpowering it by making it look cartoonish. It looks like an actual studio lot, which is, of course, what Hollywood Studios is all about.
Absolutely. And we were just talking before we came on air. Tyler, you had mentioned something very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of wondering why. What do you think, Gared? I'm kind of wondering why rebrand it at all. Why not just get rid of the archway to begin with? I mean, do you think that archway is even necessary anymore? It's kind of not what it used to be. That studio part is not really a studio so much anymore, you know? So.
Yeah, no, that's a very astute observation and great comment. I personally like the archway. I like archways at Disney because I believe they're sort of a doorway to a new world, so to speak. And even though it's not a working studio anymore or not what it was in the past, I still believe that it is very cool, and it's a picturesque moment, and it's a reference to the studio's past back when Hollywood Studios was MGM Studios back in the good old 90s. So I like it because on the side of it, right over there, you're going to see like an archway that you might actually see in Hollywood. And I think it looks I like it personally. I think is it necessary? No, but is it classic, timeless, and have that nostalgic feel of Hollywood's yesteryears? Absolutely. So I personally am a fan.
Yeah, I think the colors and the logo, I kind of think it's an improvement over the last one. So I'm definitely. Yeah, I'm not against it. I'm just curious if we already went over it. So yeah.
Well, Gared, it also looks like I see some Christmas decor behind you there. It looks like Christmas has arrived to Hollywood Studios. What can you tell us? What's coming to Hollywood Studios this holiday season?
Yes, so as you know, it's already Christmas time, even though it's the beginning of November, because Disney doesn't do a normal calendar. So yeah, Disney has erupted with Christmas all around, and Hollywood Studios has a lot of amazing things coming here. They have the nighttime fireworks show, Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam, which is doing projections onto the Chinese theater, and I think it's a fantastic show. It even has a few of Disney's less known characters, a couple of mischievous out there trying to help Santa get ready for the holidays. Um, so that's the first thing that's going to be going on in this main area right here. Over in Toy Story Land, they're not doing anything crazy. It's more so just an overlay of holiday decorations. Like you're gonna have Ham in like a Santa outfit. You're gonna have the little green men, the LGMs, as ornaments. And then if you go on to the different attractions, they're actually gonna have a Christmas song overlay on them. So when you go on the Alien Saucer ride, it's gonna have some Christmas music as opposed to its normal Toy Story music. So that's very, very cool. And I like it. Anything that can have some Christmas element to it definitely always makes things a bit more exciting. Other than this, Gertie, the dinosaur that's in the middle of the lake, has his or her, I'm not sure what Gertie is, but Gertie has their Christmas hat on. The tree is up, and there's just a boom of Christmas in this area. But if you go over down towards Hollywood, towards Tower of Terror, that is where they do their projections onto the Hollywood Tower, and I think it's a great use of mapping that Disney has gotten into the swing of things. It started off with the castle, and now they're actually mapping on top of Tower of Terror, and I think it's very cool because they have 3 different stories going on. They have a Mickey and Minnie one, they have an Olaf one, and then I believe there's a Toy Story one on there, and they changed the words around, and it looks, I don't know. I think it's just a cool element. I, of course, miss the good old days of the Osborne family lights, but hey, you work with what you got. But yeah, Disney, especially Walt Disney World, is definitely the swing of things for Christmas time for the next 2.5 months, pretty much.
Absolutely. Well, you're also in a park that hosts one of the biggest expansions ever, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. And earlier this week, I don't know if you heard, Gared, but the Walt Disney Company had its fourth quarter earnings call, and it looks like executives admitted that doesn't sound like Star Wars Galaxy's Edge did what they expected it to do. I mean, it's a $1 billion expansion. A lot of things went into promoting it. I mean, I feel like we've been talking about it for years, and it finally opened up this year. And now it looks like they didn't receive the boost they were looking for. And then on top of it, it sounds like spending is up just slightly, but that's only because of price hikes and like food and merchandise. What do you make of that?
I grew up watching Star Wars all the way from the original trilogy to what is now happening to be, I guess, the final trilogy. We'll see if they don't want to pump out more and expand upon the Skywalker saga. But I think a lot of the reason there's a decline in just the attendance would be that it's not a finished land. They opened it up, and while it looks phenomenal, you only put in one of the 2 attractions that you're supposedly going to have. And so I think if you're a guest with, like, say you're a normal family, like husband, wife, couple kids, and you're like, hey, let's go to Disney World. Oh, but they don't have this other ride. Why would I spend my money on that? So I believe that because it's not fully finished, they're not going to spend their money right now. Probably once Galaxy's Edge is finished, both here and out where you guys are at Disneyland, I think that will then attract people in there. But until that time, I don't think it's going to have much of a boom because people want the full thing. If you only are giving them half a cake, like, it's still a cake, but it's not, they want the full cake. You know?
It's a slice of cake, not the whole thing.
Absolutely.
Tyler, Katrina, thoughts on the earnings report and Galaxy's Edge not being what people thought it was going to be?
I mean, I kind of knew it was gonna happen. I didn't know, but I mean, when they are notorious for doing staggered openings, it's just kind of lackluster, and you know it's opening, you go see it, and then they're like, what rating of the ride would I say? Like, it's like what ticket, what like kind of like ticket ride would it be?
Oh man, I would probably call it a D ticket.
That's what I was gonna say. I don't know. Anyway, but I would honestly say that you're starting out with that kind of ride and you're paying a whole bunch of money to like build droids and build lightsabers. It's just kind of like I would just rather wait for like, you know, the e-ticket ride and you know, make a bang for your buck with your whole family because you're planning it for like years out to go to Disney World.
Yeah, and to top it all off too, it's like one of the things that they talked about on a regular basis leading up to Galaxy's Edge was the fact that there would be a lot of character interactions and droids and just all these different things like that, and none of that ever even came to fruition. So I'm hoping down the road they keep on adding more and more stuff. I heard rumors that they were looking for casting for a stunt show, things like that. So that's what I think that land needs. It needs to have that kinetic energy and feel more alive, and I think it'll help it a lot. It just feels unfinished at this point.
And the other thing that I wanted to touch on here, guys, was this recent revelation. It sounds like in the Walt Disney Company's Perks and Privileges program for cast members, it appears that the chief HR officer, Jane Parker, has come out to indicate that now cast members and employees of the Walt Disney Company can choose between whether or not they receive their main entrance pass privileges, where they get into the park so many times a year for free and bring in friends and family, or they can choose to select something very different, and that is the new Disney Plus package, and Disney Plus being, of course, that streaming service that Disney is about to launch. Not necessarily a comparable value in terms of dollars, but what do you guys think about that?
I mean, for me, if you are not a cast member, like in the parks, and you're out and you can't get to the parks that often, maybe it might be worth it for you to do the Disney Plus. But I think like a lot of people that work at Disney are Disney fans and might have been a D23 member and have already signed up for 3 years of Disney Plus. So I think that's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of a bummer. Like, so, I mean, obviously you would choose the front, like, to get in the gates, but at the same time, you're like, this is my choices. I already did my 3-year Disney Plus thing. So I don't know. I want to say that it's like a good perk for someone that is not at the park, that doesn't not work like locally. So, yeah.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think it is a good thing, I guess, for people who can't go to the parks on a regular basis. Anybody who works for the Disney companies in the middle of America or anything like that, I understand that. At the same time, I feel like, it's $60 a year for it's something like that, $60 a year for just a normal person. So yeah. I feel like come on, Disney, just throw them a bone. I mean, one of the reasons that they give out these park passes to their employees to begin with is so that their employees become familiar with Disneyland or Disney World, and they can discuss, what they love about that stuff to their friends and their family, and hopefully get up the word, and hopefully they'll learn a little bit about the theme park, and it just makes everybody better. And I just feel like Disney Plus would do the same thing. Like, you could just give Disney Plus to your employees, and then they could learn about all the different, brands that you carry. It just seems like a win-win to me, and it's interesting that they wouldn't just give it to their employees.
At least for just the first year.
Yeah.
Give me 1 year.
Yeah, at least just like
then you got
here
me
you
hooked,
go, here's
and then
a
I'll
year.
pay for it.
I don't know. Like you were alluding to earlier, Wade, the monetary value is so out of whack there that, like, if you even go to Disneyland once as a cast member, you might as well just keep that perk, right? Yeah. I mean, if you're going to go one time a year, then keep that perk, because it's going to save you money.
Worth it.
I mean, it's like $120
right.
for one ticket.
So
and you bring in a group with you, and
sure.
potentially up to 3 people, and
exactly.
I mean, it really does make a huge difference. Gared, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm still
Gared,
here.
what do you think about all this? You used to work for the company. You were a cast member. These perks and privileges, something that you would take Disney Plus over main entrance passes?
No. Like, when I think of it, whether I am doing a college program or I've been with the company for 5 years, the value of one ticket is already 2 times the value of Disney Plus. Granted, you can get like ESPN Plus as well as Hulu, which is a great package, but even just going one day to the parks, it makes it worthwhile. The only reason I could see this being attractive to cast members would be if, like what Tyler said, if you're in Middle America, whether you're in Texas, Seattle, or to other remote locations, or even if you're at a Disney store, that's the only reason I could see you wanting to do it, because you're like, I'm never going to go to the parks, but like, I still want to enjoy it. But still, I would choose my main gate options, my ability to take myself as well as my friends into the parks with me, and then I would just buy Disney Plus on the side, because like it's $60. You can pay it outright for it cheaper. You can pay it for a full year outright, and it's just a lot cheaper. So I think that's a very, very bad trade. I don't think it has all the excitement or all the attraction that it should. Sorry, some Galaxy's Edge Star Wars movie just happened. I'm like, am I going to be attacked by
That
Boba
Star
Fett?
Wars
So,
getting in everybody's
Oh,
yeah.
way.
Watch your back.
Absolutely.
There's nothing
Yeah.
like hearing the Imperial March while you're trying to have lunch at Brown Derby. That's the best.
Well, I'll tell you to sort of wrap up this discussion here that one of the big sell points in cast member sort of salaries and packages is getting these main entrance passes. I mean, it's a really big perk that Disney pays lower wages because they factor this in. At least that's the language officially, is that, oh, well, look at all these extras that you get. And now they're giving you the option of one or the other. I got to say, from the standpoint of someone who was part of senior leadership and someone that used to do the hiring for Disney, this was something that I always looked forward to sharing with people. You get these main entrance passes because that is a huge value. Now to have to choose between the two, it almost makes me feel, guys, like it would have been just better to have either offered a discount on Disney Plus or not offered it at all. Because at this point, it almost seems cheap by the company to say one or the other, guys, because you're only worth one. It doesn't look good. And knowing that this was pushed forward by the person in charge of human resources, like it was some sort of a win, like this is some sort of a great milestone, and look at what we can do for our cast members. I mean, I get it. They don't have to do anything, right? No company has to give any perks and privileges, but this company has always provided this as an option.
They should have came out with it like earlier, I want to say, because again, they hyped up this thing during like the D23 Expo, and they're like, you get 3 years for like, lower price, and a lot of people probably bought it. Then they started sending it out to, I think, annual pass holders, and they started sending it out to Disney Visa card holders, like a cool deal, and then Verizon or something was giving it for a year for free. So I'm sure a lot of these cast members have some, like, they already probably like purchased it or something. So like, now you tell me?
Right.
Yeah. The thing,
a little late.
The thing about it too is that these two products are in completely different places in the markets right now.
Amen. Yeah.
Like Disney Plus must appeal to, it has to be cheap because it has to appeal to everybody who already has Netflix and Hulu and all that stuff. So we need to make it look like it's a great value. We need to make it look cheap. Over here, Disneyland, Disney World, it's already an expensive value. It's already like the top of the list. Like if you're going to go to a theme park, you're going to go to Disney World, right? Like, I mean, that's so it's like coming from this is trying to be cheap and this is trying to be expensive. I don't understand. Why would I ever choose it as a cast member? I don't know why I would ever choose Disney Plus. It just, again, unless I'm living in the middle of the world.
Really like movies and like the shows and stuff, and not want to go
why.
to the park. I don't know.
It doesn't feel right to me, but certainly something that we will no doubt be talking about in the future.
Yeah.
And Gared, want to thank you for joining us. Looks like you'll be back a little bit later on to share your insight on a few more topics.
Absolutely. I'm going to maybe go hang out with Mickey Mouse, and then I'll see you guys in a little bit.
That sounds great to me, man. Appreciate you dropping in, and we'll see you in a bit. All right.
Thank you.
It looks like it's all about the trending countdown now. Let's go right into more news stories. Trending countdown time. We have Katrina first up with a story all about the Disney Villains After Hours returning next year.
That's right. I have my notes right here because there's a lot that's going on. Okay, so the Disney Villains After Hours is coming back in Magic Kingdom 2020. They are actually adding on, 14 additional nights because it was so popular. And it's 24 nights altogether, starting February 7th through July 10th. So it seems really cool. We've done an After Hours before, not the Villains After Hours, and I actually really enjoyed it. And so some of the things that you can get that's included is the Villains Unite the Night stage show, where Hades comes out and sets fire to the stage with Meg and... Oh, I don't know. I thought you
Nothing.
like
I didn't do anything. I'm just
like,
sitting here
what?
listening to you.
Oh, and anyway, so like some of the villains that we all know and love, like Dr. Facilier, the Queen, Maleficent, and Jafar come out and do a spectacular stage show. Then that cool steampunk can't talk right now. Maleficent Dragon is going to come out throughout the night around Magic Kingdom, which
That's
is
cool.
really cool because, you know, I don't know, who doesn't love that Maleficent Dragon
Right.
from
Probably
the
the
parade?
fire department.
Wow. Okay, fine, you got me there. And then there's going to be a DJ that's going to be at the Cinderella Castle forecourt stage, and they're going to play some really cool villainous music throughout the night. And then just like they do at Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, they're going to bring Pirates of the Caribbean and Space Mountain to life with villains. So they're going to have the pirates that are going to be in the ride in Pirates of the Caribbean, which I thought was really cool that I talked about on the last show, which it's amazing. And then you get exclusive merchandise, which everybody knows, like you gotta buy it.
Gotta get the merch.
And then rides, you will not have to wait more than like 15, 20 minutes for any ride. It's ridiculous how amazing after hours are. So if you are going to go to Magic Kingdom and you know you want to just ride a whole bunch of rides, honestly, I would splurge and do an after hours just because you get a lot of bang for your buck because they let in a lot less than the normal crowds that you would get. No fast passes, so the lines move super quick. And then on top of it, you get free beverages and popcorn. So you can
Definitely a plus.
non-alcoholic,
Right.
but you do get a lot of that cool stuff. So that's really good perks. And then, so the tickets are, if you purchase beforehand online, it's $145 plus tax. And then if you purchase day of, it's $155 plus tax. Then annual pass holders and Disney Vacation Club get a discount, so they get $30 off, which is a great deal. So if you don't really get to spend a lot of time in Magic Kingdom as an annual pass holder, then I would definitely splurge for this.
Very good. I think that the private parties have become a big business for
It is.
everything Walt Disney World at this point. And it makes me wonder, though, because we have eliminated a lot of those extra magic hours for resort guests at Walt Disney World now, especially the ones that went till 1 or 2 in the morning and everybody was so fond of.
I do miss those.
Do you feel like, I mean, I know you get the freebies thrown in these parties, but they're not really free because you're paying for them.
Right.
But would you rather have your extra magic hours over a separate ticketed private event?
I think a lot of people that, I mean, maybe they have either kids and they can't stay up until 2 in the morning, or they're not even like annual pass holders, for instance. They're not going to stay on property. So if they can splurge and go to Magic Kingdom and get to ride like all the rides they want to, People Mover like all the way, then I would definitely do it. Because if you're an annual pass holder and you don't stay on property, you can book your fast passes 30 days in advance. So you're not gonna. I mean, I know you're able to get like Seven Doors Mine Train a lot easier now, but still, it's still like a lengthy wait if you don't have a fast pass for it. So if I was an annual pass holder living locally, I would splurge for it so I can ride it as many times as I could
All right.
until I vomited.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that. Any thoughts, Taylor?
I just have. I mean, this is a little bit off topic. I have a slightly different thought. I was thinking of when. You guys remember when they used to do annual pass parties in Disneyland?
Yes. Sure.
Like, if you were an annual pass holder, they would do parties like once every quarter and then they started doing these buttons and everything, and they got rid of the annual pass parties and you know, the AP days and everything. That's great, but I was just reminiscing of these annual pass parties, which is a completely different subject, but just it made me think of it with your question of, you know, how do you think of the parties comparing to, anyway. It was
Private parties are a blast. Don't get me wrong.
I mean, I
Sure.
I enjoy the room to have fun because Disney parks have become increasingly more crowded. It is difficult to enjoy as much as you'd like to in a day. So these private parties offer you that opportunity, and then also having, you know, the added benefit of your snacks thrown in.
Yeah. I mean, I think the after hours party that we went to, I don't know how many bottles of water I drank. It was like
backpack.
It was super humid and I was feeling really faint, and I think I drank like 10 bottles of water. And normally if I had to pay for those bottles of water, that's like what, $4 a piece?
Sure.
So I mean, I made $40, so.
Well, moving along here, on an unfortunate side of things, a 51-year-old man was accused of groping a princess at Disney World last weekend. According to Orange County Sheriff's Office, Brian Sherman of Orlando and his wife were visiting Magic Kingdom shortly after 12 p.m., according to the arrest affidavit. The two went to the grotto area to take pictures with one of the princesses. That could probably only be one princess, and that might be Ariel the Little Mermaid. The two went into the grotto area to take those pictures, and upon meeting the princess, Sherman allegedly moved his arm lower and cupped the cast member's right breast with his right forefinger and thumb. The only room between Sherman's hand and the cast member's breast was the skin-tight fabric of her costume. The character attendant running the location told Sherman he needed to alter his pose immediately, and PhotoPass cast members took photos of Sherman for sheriff's deputies to use in tracking him down. When Sherman left the meet and greet location, the cast member began shaking and crying. The performer did, and the character meet and greet location was closed immediately after the incident. It's really hard to hear stuff like this because having been somebody that worked in entertainment, okay, I worked with these performers, I worked with these individuals. This happened more often than I'd like to admit. It's not something Disney talks about or publicizes or even likes to reference in news media. They like for this stuff to go away as fast as possible because you don't like to assume this sort of a thing happens at a Disney park. But the real world seeps in sometimes, and perverted evil people seep in sometimes, and unfortunately it happened here. This sort of a thing, because it happens so frequently, it's nice to hear not only was this person caught, but that on top of it, it sounds like the performer will also be pressing charges. A lot of times performers get nervous about doing something like that. They say, you know what, just I'm glad that they were kicked out, and don't pursue that legal action. I've seen this time and again where a lot of performers will take that step back and say, no, it's good that they're just gone. What would you do if you were in that situation? I mean, would you press charges? Would you go after them?
I mean, this makes me like so angry. Like I can't even. And when I read this story, I was like literally livid for like a good couple hours and more. I'm still mad when I hear about it. But for me, it's just like this is inappropriate no matter what they do. And sometimes when something happens that's like sexual harassment, some people just want it to go away and they don't want to see it ever again. And I think now more than ever, a lot of people are sticking up for themselves, which I'm really, really proud of, and they need to. And so I personally now I feel like in the last like 5 years, a lot of things changed in like the entertainment business. So a lot of people are sticking up for themselves, but I feel like if it was like a couple years ago, I probably would have hid and never would have want to talk to anybody about it. But now I would have stuck up for myself, and I'm really proud of her for like pressing charges.
Me too.
Yeah.
No, I'm thrilled to hear that she has the, I think, confidence and courage to be able to see that through. Tyler, imagine you're in a situation like this and you have somebody grope you. I mean, what's your first reaction to something like that? Imagine it happened to you. What do you do?
In a way, I kind of feel like I can't have a way to compare it for myself because I'm not a woman. I mean, obviously it could happen to a man too, but I feel like.
I mean, it could be Tarzan, Gaston.
Yeah,
Those
no, I mean,
very aggressive.
Captain Jack was always sort of sought after by the ladies.
Sure.
So I mean, you want to flip this, it does happen.
I guess I don't mean necessarily that it will never happen because I'm a man. I'm just more talking about how society would react to me. Like if I was like Katrina was saying years ago, coming out about this sort of thing as a woman was a really difficult thing. You could be definitely looked down upon even if you didn't do anything wrong. So it's one of those things that's what I mean. It is I don't really have that frame of reference, but I mean, yeah, I'm glad she's going for it. I'm glad she's going to press charges. I mean, this guy deserves to get all the bad stuff coming to him. There's not much more to say than that. I feel bad for her, and I'm glad that she's not letting somebody step all over her.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't deserve that. So
yeah, and to bring this to a close, I'll say that it's nice to know that this person was caught. A lot of times what will happen in these
I'm
environments...
really happy that the photographer took pictures
Yeah.
to make sure they got their face.
Standard operating protocol for PhotoPass is to do something like that. Anytime there's some sort of conflict, emergency, you name it, the photographer will continue taking pictures of somebody and zoom in on faces and features so that those can be handed over to police to go after these individuals. I'm thrilled that he got caught. Because the other big piece to this is Magic Kingdom is a massive park where it's easy to slip back into a crowd. Sure. And if he just left, may have never been captured. I mean, you just don't know. Moving along here, festivals are back next year at California Adventure Park. Tyler, tell us more.
Yeah, so I mean, let's take a hard right turn now, and Lunar New Year is coming back, and it's actually one of my favorite things that they do over the course of the holidays, or of the year, I guess I should say. It's going to be happening from January 17th through February 9th, and it's basically, you got a whole bunch of great stuff. There's food and entertainment and new merchandise. So on the list of entertainment, we have Mulan's Lunar New Year Procession, which is one of my favorite shows that they do all year round, or all year long, I should say. And Mushu is going to be there, and they come out and they do a lot of kind of traditional dances and music, and it's a procession. I mean, they have a great time, and that is usually over there in front of the Paradise Garden. So I'm sure they'll do it in exactly the same place they do it every year. You know what? Actually, last year they did it in front of World of Color, so maybe they'll do it. They've changed it up. I don't know where they're going to do it. So, but yeah, look for it in that area. But then the Lunar New Year Marketplace is, of course, back, which is going to have. It's basically like a different type of food and wine, where there's going to be different booths set up all along, and you're going to be able to check out the cuisine of this culture and this area region. So that's one of my favorite parts, because you could get like great pot stickers and bao buns and just all sorts of great stuff. So look forward to that. Over at the Paradise Garden Bandstand, there's going to be more entertainment. I don't know exactly what it's going to be this year. They haven't made any announcements yet, but they always have great stuff over there of just people you've never heard of before, who are just showing you this great kind of regional entertainment. And of course, the Lucky Wishing Wall, which is one of my favorite things, actually,
That's
too,
great.
because
It's really pretty.
you get to, basically, it's one of the traditions where you write down your wish and you get to hang it up. So wish anything you want, write it down, and by the end of the celebration, the whole wall is just covered in all these different tags, and it really is actually kind of beautiful. And if you ever have like a couple minutes just to, take a chill pill over in California Adventure, just read a couple of those, because some of them are like really nice and heartwarming, and it's a great fun experience. So and over there in the same area, they always have characters that are going to come and dress up too. They have like Goofy, because it was the year of the dog a couple years ago, so Goofy has his get up now, and I forgot to say the whole thing of this is actually going to be the year of the mouse.
How appropriate.
So I know, right? So like Mickey, he better pull out all the stops this year, because it's his year. So I mean, and then also you can also look forward to the Paradise Garden Grill switching up their menu. They have a lot of Chinese dishes and stuff. The last couple years they've been doing a fried whole fish. So maybe they'll do that again this year. They haven't announced much of this stuff yet, but we figured we'd get out in front and
Smart.
yeah. So
I love the Lunar New Year celebration for the fact that it's such a mini party that no one really thinks to come to. I feel like it's never that busy. The first day is usually a lot of interest from locals that will come in to see it, but I feel like it's one of those mini festivals that doesn't get a whole lot of attention, which allows me to enjoy things that much more and get to spend a lot more time enjoying things there, because I don't have to worry about crowds and lines and stuff like that.
yeah.
It's true. And then it gets your tummy ready for the Food and Wine Festival, because you're just going to keep eating and eating and eating for like a half a year.
That's right.
It's true.
Seems good to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll just keep on eating. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate you wrapping up our news stories there. There's plenty more. Kingdom Report Live straight ahead. Stick with us.
Do you know everything the ghost host is going to say before he says it? Are you ready to thank the Venetians each time you board Spaceship Earth? Can you recite Walt's opening day dedication speech? Then join the Kingdom team today, the influential legacy fan community featuring exclusive merchandise that will alert all who've come to this happy place that you are more than just another guest. You are a trusted theme park fan. Don't miss out. Join the Kingdom team right now by visiting the homepage at kingdomreportlive.com. That's kingdomreportlive.com. And now, back to the magic.
It's time for the Disney List, where we end up chatting with you about some of our favorites and least favorites of the Disney park experiences. And this week, it's all about Tyler's favorite Disney California adventure attractions. Tyler, what do you got for us?
Yes, my 3 favorite attractions. You know, this one was actually pretty tough for me, because there are some on this list there are some that I wanted to put on the list that were like, they couldn't actually be like somebody's favorite attraction. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not really my favorite attraction, but I wanted to put it. Anyway, I'm just going to get right into it. So in no particular order here, the first one that I have on my list is the Incredicoaster.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, and honestly, I know some people were a little disappointed when the Incredicoaster took over California Screamin', but I thought it was a huge upgrade in every way. I really did. I thought that it brought character to the park. It brought a story to that ride that was more than just, hey, let's build a ride that is the theme park style that Walt didn't want to have. So, you know what I mean? Does that anyway? So, I just think with the music that was from I'm blanking on his name right now, but the guy that did the music for the movies did the music for.
Is it Michael Giacchino?
Yes,
no.
yeah,
Okay.
I think it is. I think that's right. I think you're right. Anyway, he did.
We don't fact check here.
Yeah, I know.
It's fine. Go.
He ended up doing the music, and I mean, just everything about it. I love hearing the different characters as you're going along. The different, like, you get the smell in one tunnel from the cookies, and so that was one way that they made a thrill ride. And they took a thrill ride and they added some great story to it, and that's what I loved.
Now, would California Screamin' have been the same level of appreciation rather than just being Incredicoaster? I mean, would this still have made the list if it was California Screamin'?
No. I mean, personally, no. I don't think it would have made the list. I think I would have gone at the time. I probably would have put like Tower of Terror on there instead, you know. But now that it's Guardians of the Galaxy,
put Heimlich's Choo Choo Train.
Yeah, Heimlich's Choo Choo Train. There you go. Now that's what we should all be talking about.
Rest in peace.
I know, really. But yeah, I don't know. You know, California Screamin' was, like I tried to allude to earlier, that it was based off of the theme park aesthetic that Walt Disney himself said, I don't want my park to be like that. Yeah. So it was a kind of a weird choice to say, like, hey, let's do this California theme park thing, because I thought that was the goal, was to not be the California theme park. Anyway, that was always my thought with it. I also really disliked the music of California Screamin'. So when they upgraded the music to the Incredible stuff, I personally really enjoyed that change, and it puts a smile on my face. It's just goofy and fun, and
I definitely think the Incredicoaster is a major upgrade for sure.
Yeah.
What's your number 2?
So my number 2, Radiator Springs Racers.
Heyo.
You cannot go to California Adventure without riding Radiator Springs Racers.
It's a sin.
Yeah, right.
It really is.
Wrong.
It's probably the best ride that Imagineering has created in years. Like, I can't think of anything that's just more impressive on every level. If you think about how tight the timing is on that ride and everything, for example, I mean, there's a moment where they had to build 2 maters because to get the timing window correct, they had to have one car looking at Mater 1 and the second car looking at Mater 2. You know what I mean? So, and they hide it really well. It's not something you even notice unless you're looking for it. Anyway, it's just one of those things where at every single turn you see where somebody was hitting some limitation while they were designing it, and they had to figure out their way around that limitation.
That's a great point.
And they did it flawlessly.
Yeah.
And to top it all off, they took the technology, which is amazing, and they made it make sense with every facet of that story. Every single thing that is in that ride comes from one of those movies, and it looks like it's straight out of it. It looks like it's straight out of the movie, and that's prime storytelling to me. That's when you're doing it 100% right. When I look at Lightning McQueen and he looks like he just walked or rolled out of that movie, then I know they did it right.
You're right. Classic Disney storytelling with modern technology executed flawlessly.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
So my number 3 then, again in no particular order really, I'm going to go with Toy Story Midway Mania.
All right.
Yeah. And Toy Story Midway Mania for me is one of those rides that the more you do it, the more fun it is, actually. Which is not, you can't say that about every ride. But there is something about, and we go in and there's a lot of people don't know that to get the best scores, it is easier to work together as a team, because to get some of the little secrets that go off to get like the higher scoring patterns and things like that, you need to actually work together, and they have to hit this plate at the same time I'm hitting that plate, like and then different things happen, like for example that one where you hit the 2 plates at once, the tank comes out and starts shooting plates that are worth 5,000 at you. So it's like, okay. So as you play that game, as you play every game, you start to learn all these different little secrets of like how you can do better, how you can improve your score. And to top it all off, you get to work together with whoever you're sitting with, which makes it also another level of fun. And
That's so sweet.
Well, he wasn't talking about you, I'm sure. Just kidding.
I understand.
Well, on that note, do you often beat Tyler? At
No.
Midway Mania? Oh.
I beat him at like Buzz Lightyear in Florida, in like the Walt Disney World.
You
That's
do
the only
get
thing
your
I
stick.
ever beat him in, because I
Yeah.
refused to tell him the secrets.
Oh.
Yeah, that one I can't play that game. I don't know what, I can't figure out how to
He
aim
always
in
gets
that
the
game and
bear. He
everything.
always gets like that top section, and I'm always like the cat, like 2 below. I'm just
Yeah.
like, hey,
can
at
you
least
do?
I'm consistent. I don't know.
At least there's that.
Yeah, but it's just a fun time, and I even love just the little touch of exiting the ride, getting out, and you see on the floor there, like in the study, you see like the little tiny model of what you were just inside, and it makes you feel like, yeah, we grew, we were toy size, and now we grew, and now we can see the toy that we were playing with, from our adult perspective. And I don't know, it's the little touch like that
I think
really.
a lot of people ignore that when they walk out. They throw their glasses away and then walk down the stairs.
But it's one of my.
You
I
need to
think
look
you're
at
right,
it.
I think you're right, but it's one of my favorite things that kind of really wraps up the ride. That they don't even have to say anything, they don't have to do anything. They just put a little diorama there, and it really tells so much of a story. It tells so much of what just happened.
Such a perfect detail.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I can't forget about Mr. Potato Head. I mean,
yes.
Come on.
Out there barking it up.
I mean, when they added Mr. Potato Head to Paradise Pier, it was called Paradise Pier at the time. I mean, that was one of those things where you just wanted to stop and watch him.
Right.
I mean, he's great. I love him.
There's no potato like Mr. Potato.
Exactly.
That's right. Yeah. So number 1, we had Incredicoaster. Number 2,
Raider Springs Racers.
and number 3.
And then Toy Story Midway Mania.
Very
So-
nice. Topping out your list in no particular order, as you mentioned. Very good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, stick with us, friends. That's Tyler's top 3. We have plenty more Kingdom Report live straight ahead.
Hey Kingdom Team, do you need more magic in your life? We understand, which is why we connect you to more of what makes you happy 3 times a week. Catch our theme park coverage, vlogs, and reviews every Tuesday and Thursday. And experience the Kingdom Report live, streaming every Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. That's new content every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, crafted with you in mind. Don't miss out. Be sure to subscribe and activate notifications at The Kingdom Report on YouTube. And catch every update throughout the week at Kingdom Report Live on social media. See you there!
It's do it or ditch it time. Yeah, my friends, that means do we do it or do we ditch it? Very simple, very straightforward. And today we are talking about the Country Bear Jamboree at Magic Kingdom and Walt Disney World, a classic attraction, one that I know so many people are passionate about. When we lost it at Disneyland many, many moons ago, there was practically a riot. And it was replaced by The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Guys, what do you think about Disneyland having lost such a classic attraction? And is it a part of your Magic Kingdom trip when you visit Walt Disney World?
Want to start?
It sucks losing as an attraction.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was not, it may be a bear for a bear on paper, but we did not get the bear we deserved. I mean, I don't know. It was one of those things that the other thing to take into account is that we also had like the special, summer shows and holiday shows. Like they would do that in Disneyland, and they still don't do that over in Magic Kingdom. So that was, not only did we lose an attraction for ourselves, but also people who could experience that who, lived in Florida could also go and experience it out in Disneyland. So yeah, no, it was, I think it was horrible losing it. I understand that we needed more dark rides for little kids, but I mean, they could have put Winnie the Pooh anywhere else. For how simple that ride is. And I think that's what it boils down to, is you can tell that there isn't as much love put into that ride. Mm-hmm. You can tell that it was kind of built with a budget. And so we lost this like kind of like golden crown to me of Disney Imagineering, of like original Walt Imagineering, and they put in this kind of budget thing. It was really a slap in the face. It kind of reminds me of what happened to Journey into Imagination. You know?
Very similar.
Yeah, but
Katrina,
anyway.
one of your favorites or not?
No.
Unpopular.
I mean, when I was a kid in Disneyland, I would go with my parents and stuff, and we would just do it. And then it was fine. And then we went to Florida, and I would say, like, if you've never seen it before, I would go to go check it out. I always like the three sisters or whatever that sing. They're cute.
I like Blood on the Saddle.
Yeah, like, and then like the moose and stuff. Like they're always like funny, but I would not want to do it every single time I go to Florida. But
so, I mean, we definitely took a poll of the Kingdom Report audience, and we asked them, tell us if this is a part of your Magic Kingdom experience or not. And 80+% said yes, that this is a must-do, that they absolutely have to do this when they visit the Magic Kingdom, even if they had limited time. And then we were just over, looks like 18% of folks that said no.
I'm not 18%.
Replace it or update it. Gared joins us once again from Walt Disney World. Gared, I mean, you're out there on the homeland where this attraction still lives on. Mm-hmm. What do you think? Do it or ditch it?
So I have a mixed answer. So first and foremost, my answer is I'm going to ditch it. If I'm running to the parks, I've got a plan. So I'm with Katrina, but if I'm going to the parks, I have a plan. I'm doing Space Mountain. I'm doing Big Thunder. I'm doing Pirates. I'm going to meet Mickey Mouse. I might even watch the parade. But Country Bear Jamboree is not on that list. If it's raining or it's hot, I'll go in there because it's hot and it's rainy, and that just doesn't go with the Disney vacation. But if it's just like a normal day, I'm not going to go do it just because it's not something that's like, it gives me life. I'm sorry, 82%. I'm just not with you. I'm sorry.
Wow. I'll lodge my vote, Gared. I think it's absolutely worth doing. It looks like we have a split jury here.
It is, yeah.
So
we've got 2 and 2. I mean,
I just don't want it to go away. Like, I don't mind it, but I wouldn't go do it.
So you're in that camp. You don't want it to go.
I'm like in the middle one where like, it's Carousel of Progress. Should it go? No. Am I going to ride it all the time? No.
Now, Gared, would you want to see it removed and replaced with something else?
See, I'm not so sure about that either because like I don't like it where like Captain EO was around for such a long time, and then
where I'm missing buffering.
I guess Star Wars or other stuff, but. Like, I'm not unhappy with it. I'm just like, I don't want to replace it with just. I don't want to do what sometimes Disney can do, which is make a cheap knockoff or a cheap replacement for it. I don't think that will do it justice. I don't know. I think it's nostalgic. It's great for the diehards that have been coming back for years and years and years. For me, it's not a part of my trip, but if one of our lovely viewers or if any of you want to come take me on it, I'll go with you guys. But it's not something I'm gonna do all the time. Like I didn't go on it until I'd already been out in Florida, probably a year and a half in, and one of my roommates was like, let's go on it. I'm like, I've never been on that. He's like, you're going to love the moose. And I do like the moose.
Oh, you do like the moose. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
At least there's that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see Tower of Terror in the background.
Yeah.
Is that Sunset Boulevard? Is it all set up for their big Christmas projection?
Yeah. So I'm actually underneath one of the giant billboards that they use for the Christmas time. So down the street, they will do projection mapping on the buildings as well as on Tower of Terror, and it comes with different thing. And then far off there, you can't really see it. There's a Phantasmic sign, but underneath it are little, I guess, snow cannons that shoot off the fake snow because Florida doesn't get snow. But it's definitely hi, sir. Thank you. See, we got fans already. But yeah, this whole area is decked out with Christmas, like whether it's you got like lying down Sunset Boulevard, you got the little stars, you've got the giant sign. So yeah, Hollywood Studios is decked out for the holidays, and I cannot wait to check it out myself when I have the ability to.
Yeah, it's their minor scale replacement for the Osborne Festival of Lights that was such a hit there for so many years, and I know. Hey, I feel the same way, man. One of those absolute classics that it's hard to try and replicate in any capacity, but at least there's another option. So we look forward to seeing you this Thursday.
Yes.
Your first reaction to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. You'd never been there before, and we caught your reaction.
My reaction to it is when our lovely viewers watch it are a lot of me making non-words up. I'm going to just be like, I'm just going to be expressing non-verbal communication completely through body expression and sounds more so than words. But
it's a very quiet video.
I truly love Galaxy's Edge, and I can't wait to see it when it's actually full and has Rise of the Resistance there. Man, I'm looking forward to that attraction. It's gonna be good.
Likewise. Well, we look forward to seeing your video, the Kingdom Report, on YouTube later this week on Thursday. Gared, thanks for checking in from Walt Disney World. We look forward to seeing you next week.
See you guys real soon. Bye.
All right. Thanks, man. And Tyler and Katrina, tell us what's coming up on attractionfaction.net this week. What should we look forward to?
Well, we had our vlog finally come out last week that I had to do a bunch of junk to finally get it to work with compatibility issues and all that. Anyway, I learned my lesson, and things are going to be different from now on. So what we're doing this week is we're actually headed over to Disneyland today. We're going to go and try out.
Decked out in Christmas attire just for that.
I've got my green shirt on.
Very nice.
So we're going to go over there and do Festival of Holidays and go on. It's a small world, and we're gonna have you all along with us. So come and join us over there at Attraction Faction.
Yeah. Sounds awesome. Yeah. Well, I definitely stopped by Disneyland this week to check out some of the holiday offerings as well. You can see some of my reactions to what's going on out there and some of the new and unique decorations that have been added this year. And I also dropped by California Adventures Festival of Holidays Food and Wine. They were testing things out earlier this week, and so I was able to drop by and take a look at all the new food offerings. So
I want the beef Wellington.
The beef Wellington,
that
yes,
looks good.
Yeah.
Did
Shepherd's
you try that?
Pie, I have not.
Okay.
I have not. I didn't get to try any of the food, but I got to stop by every one of the markets.
Okay.
The lines were too long.
Okay.
I didn't have time.
Oh boy.
There's only so much time. But that video will be coming up on Tuesday on our YouTube channel as well. But want to thank both of you for joining us again this week.
Yeah, thank you.
Looking forward to another rousing round of discussion next week.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Us too, yeah.
Yes, yeah. Well, my friends, we will see you next Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific, and of course Tuesday and Thursday on YouTube for more of what makes you happy. That's right, because this is the place that connects you to it. And remember, the Kingdom Reports, well, we're here because of you, and Walt Disney's legacy only lives on because of people like you and I. We'll see you again next Saturday.